are the Daily Tech headlines for Monday, July 29th, 2024. I'm Sarah Lane. U.S. border agents need a warrant before searching the electronic devices of Americans and international travelers crossing the U.S. border. A federal district court in New York has ruled. This is the latest court opinion that strikes down the U.S. government's argument that federal border agents should be able to access the devices of travelers at airports, seaports, and land borders without a court-approved warrant. The ruling takes effect across the U.S. Eastern District of New York, which includes John F. Kennedy International Airport. On Monday, Intel confirmed a patch is coming in mid-August that addresses the root cause of elevated voltage on some of its desktop CPUs, resulting in crashes. However, Tom's Hardware sources say that 13th or 14th gen Intel Core processors that are already crashing now have irreversible damage. Intel tells The Verge it is confident that the patch will keep the crashes from happening in the first place, and The Verge reminds folks to update their motherboard's BIOS ASAP. In his latest Power On newsletter, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman reports that Apple Intelligence may not arrive with the initial rollout of iOS 18 and the expected iPhone 16 in September. Apple is said to instead be planning a delayed AI, as it's sometimes known, launch with iOS 18.1 in October to work out some kinks first. Apple Intelligence was announced at WWDC last month and promises things like improved Siri, AI-powered image generation, and an integration with ChatGPT. Despite the public delay, Gurman reports that the iOS 18.1 and iPad 18.1 developer betas might still get at least some of these features as soon as this week. The Wall Street Journal sources say that Twitch remains unprofitable despite its popularity among streamers. Documents the Journal reviewed show that Twitch's highest-paying users are spending less, third-party data indicates slowing growth in new users and engagement, and a third round of layoffs in 2024 could be a possibility following an operational review this fall. According to the documents, Twitch, which has been owned by Amazon since 2014, generated approximately $667 million in ad revenue and $1.3 billion in commerce revenue last year. That's less than 0.5% of Amazon's total revenue. Secure Boot is something that protects devices from malware being installed during boot up that could then avoid being detected by the operating system. But a company called Binarily found two related Secure Boot compromises. The first is that the platform key, which secures Secure Boot, was posted on GitHub in an encrypted file protected by a 4-character passcode, something not hard to crack. The second was because several manufacturers used test code from a company called AMI in their shipping product, even though the platform key in the test code contained the string "do not trust" or "do not ship." More than 500 devices from almost all device makers are affected, although they're not consumer devices and many are already discontinued. If manufacturers don't offer firmware updates, companies are advised to replace the affected devices. On August 13th, we expect a handful of announcements from Google at its Made by Google event. But there might not be a ton of surprises, thanks to a flurry of leaks. Last week, 91 mobiles got sent Pixel 9 marketing pages by tipster Steve Hammerstoffer, aka OnLeaks, which includes the Pixel 9 Pro, 9 Pro XL, and 9 Pro Fold, all being bundled with Gemini Advanced for free for 1 year. Samsung's upcoming One UI 7 update was also leaked by ex-user ChunVN8888. iPhones got a little cheaper in India last week, following India reducing its import taxes on smartphones that aren't made inside the country. On Friday, Apple announced a price cut of 3 to 4% on current iPhone models in India, though that's still more expensive than iPhones are sold elsewhere. Currently, the cheapest iPhone 15 Pro model costs the equivalent of $1,550 in India, but in the US, it's only $999. Apple's iPhone shipments rose 39% in India last year, which is now the 5th largest market for Apple's iPhones. Last week, Fuji Rumors reported that Fujifilm Japan developed a new Linux software development kit, or SDK, to control Fujifilm GFX 100 series cameras remotely, such as with a drone. Fujifilm tells Petapixel this only applies to the Japanese market, and the SDK was previously only compatible with macOS and Windows, so the new Linux SDK opens things up for drone operators, and the company is working directly with Autonomy Holdings to use Fuji's GFX 100 series medium format cameras with Autonomy's new Surveyor 4 drone. For more discussion of the tech news of the day, subscribe to dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find show notes and links to all these headlines there as well. Thank you for listening. I'm Sarah Lane, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.